Live. This is Justin Gould reporting between Sinclairville and Cassadaga. We're getting ready for an update from fire crews on scene here in regards to what they were called out to a garage fire here. But as you can see behind them, most of that structure, whatever it was, we're not quite sure at this point, but has been destroyed by flames. As soon as we get a fire official able to speak with us, we will. But several fire crews battling extreme cold today on scene, as I'll pan the camera over to show you kind of the response. And there is lots of fire crews here lined up along Route 60 between Sinclairville and Cassadaga. And in rural settings like this, where they're fighting fires, there are no hydrant systems like you'd have in, say, a city of Jamestown. So crews actually have to bring in tanker trucks full of water, which they put into these makeshift boxes, almost, if you will. And then that is how they're able to fight the blaze. And today, making it more difficult, is Western New York's winter. And with absolutely frigid wind chills, bone chilling, if your skin's exposed for a period of time, you can really get into some scary situations. So if you're out today, please make sure you cover up. And these brave men and women, first responders, many of them volunteers in this rural settings, definitely doing that. But whatever was left of this building here is demolished, has been brought down by flames. Heavy smoke. We're under the assumption that it's some sort of business, because there are commercial settings like pallets of various products and vehicles stored here on what appears to be a pretty expansive property off of Route 60 between Sinclairville and Cassadaga. We have a full story with what we know at this point up now at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. But again, if you're just joining us to WNY News Now Facebook Live, we're waiting for an update from fire crews at a blaze off of Route 60 between Sinclairville and Cassadaga. What's left of the structure is not much, as flames brought down most of it. Crews working to put out the rest of the fire. And to note, the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office appears that their fire investigation team is on scene. And they usually, after most fires, whether it's residential, commercial, what have you, do come to some sort of cause, and they release that to the public as well. Generally, those men and women there, they make quick work of things like that. We had a fire overnight. They sent out a release about that fairly quickly after that. So the sheriff's office is very transparent in that sense of getting information out quickly.
Good morning,
Hey,
sir.
good afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Right.
It all kind of runs together at this point.
You guys have been really busy today.
Well, not me personally, but the fire service in general in the county, yes, a little bit.
Would you have a moment to speak with me? Is that okay?
I would have a moment.
Okay, thank you. If I could I have you just stand right in there?
Oh, I was afraid you were going to say something intelligent like that.
Yeah. Dakota, if you can, for my producers, notify Rory that we're going to start the interview. If you could just take one step back and to your left, thank you. All right. Now that I have the shot set, just try not to move your feet, please, sir. First question, can I just have you say and spell your name for me?
Chris Roll, Chrisroll. I'm an assistant chief with Sinclairville Fire Company.
So, sir, what did your crews respond to this afternoon?
We were dispatched today for a working structure fire in a 2-story garage. Cassadaga was the first due engine and found a fully involved garage on their arrival.
So do you know what was here prior to the fire?
It was a large commercial garage. Other than that, I don't.
When your crews got on scene, what did you find?
Cassadaga was our first due engine. We had a fully involved garage fire on our arrival.
So how did crews work to get to this point? I imagine lots of moving parts and lots of departments coming in to help out.
Given the time of day on a weekday, we responded a number of additional departments. We have a variety of mutual aid departments on scene. We put several engines and tankers on scene, set up a water supply out of a nearby creek, and then started shuttling tankers to the scene from the water supply.
For a day like today with extreme cold, how does that take a toll on your men and women who are responding?
It does make it a bit unpleasant. Keeps everybody chilly.
Does that contribute at all to your firefighting techniques? I imagine the cold, probably, at least for morale purposes, does have some impact.
Well, water freezes at 32. You have to keep water moving or things freeze. If you let water stand, it's not going to be useful liquid water anymore.
So as for folks who were here, do you know if anyone was inside the building at the time, or did they get out?
There was no one in the building when we arrived. I believe that there was persons working inside, but it's my understanding they easily left the building when the fire got out of control.
Now at this point, I'd imagine it seems kind of obvious, but it appears to be a total loss, would you say?
I think that goes without saying at this point. It was a fully involved wind-driven fire. Even on our first unit's arrival, we were essentially working to protect the structures around it.
So what's next for this scene? I see your crews are still actively putting water on the blaze.
The next step is to start working crews into the building, removing roofing tin out of the way, getting water underneath the tin, and we have an excavator that is going to assist us with this and pull some of this out of the way safely so that we can get water all the way into the very bottom of the fire. As a burning building collapses on itself, it makes it difficult to get the fire completely put out.
So this was mainly an exterior fight throughout the process?
Truly. This was in its entirety an exterior fight to protect other structures.
As for the police's involvement, I know that generally the sheriff's office looks into it. Do you know if they're here and their investigators are going to be working to find a cause?
Sheriff's fire investigators are on scene and working at this time.
Anything else that you have to add that maybe we didn't cover in the interview?
Just want to express my appreciation for all of our mutual aid that came to help us today. I have units coming from as far away as our rehab unit from Kyantone. I have a air refill truck from Fluvanna. We have a large amount of mutual aid emergency services involved in this, including emergency services in Mayville. The county fire coordinators are here helping. Really want to express my appreciation for our neighbors' help.
And do you know how many in total departments responded today by chance?
I am easily guessing we have half a dozen departments involved.
And I know earlier, obviously the two blazes at this point don't seem connected. However, overnight there was a large fire near Forestville. Something like that, a lot of these areas still responded to that. How is it just hours later picking up, getting in their trucks and going back to a scene?
Well, it can be tiring sometimes, but on the other hand, we know full well that what we do makes a difference. We'll get to sleep another day.
I thank you for your work and thank you for your time talking to me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So again, if you're watching us on WNY News Now's 24-hour streaming network, WNYNewsNow.com, our mobile app, and social media platforms like Facebook Live, a structure fire there, fire crews were originally called to a garage fire. They arrived here earlier in this afternoon to find the building fully engulfed. And now what you're seeing live on WNY News Now is the aftermath of that fire completely demolishing the building here off of Route 60 past Sinclairville, just before Casadega. We'll, of course, continue to update this story online at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app as the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Fire Investigation Team begins their investigation at this hour to find out what caused this fire. But this business, unfortunately, suffering a loss of a building and maybe even some product and equipment possibly. But luckily, no one injured. Fire crews telling us that everyone was able to get out of the building safely. But unfortunately, the building at this point, as you can see, total loss, will be demolished later on today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. I'm Justin Gould reporting live, and we appreciate you tuning in, and have a great day.